Raiden is back.
Lost in Concept is a new show I'll be doing that showcases the way games change throughout development. Concept art, early trailers, and gameplay demos will be covering all of it, all in an effort to show how far a game has come and what it could have been.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
These changes might be positive or negative, that's up to you to decide for yourself, but I don't know if you could put the changes to today's game in either category. Before Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was the high-octane hack and slash by Platinum Games that we all know and love today, it was a much different game by the name of Metal Gear Solid Rising. It was first revealed by Kojima at E3 2009 at the Microsoft press conference of all places. All we were shown was a teaser featuring Raiden in his new getup.
Metal Gear Solid Rising.
The game had the tagline Lightning Bolt Action, similar to the tactical espionage action tagline of the previous games. It wasn't until 2010 that we got some actual footage of the game. It was being developed with Kojima's newly conceived Fox engine, which we've only recently seen utilized in a retail game with Ground Zeroes. Originally it was meant to take place in between Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4 and explore the events surrounding Raiden becoming a cyborg and rescuing Sonny from the Patriots. This is such an interesting time frame to explore in the series, and it's such a pivotal aspect of Raiden's story that really should be expanded upon. It's actually kinda strange that this part of the story hasn't been covered by a game yet. Raiden's a normal human in 2, and then boom, he's a cyborg in 4. Because of its time frame, it was said that various other characters from the series would make a return in it.
It's not just one person or one character. There'll be maybe not so many, but there'll be several characters that you know of from the MGS franchise that will make a return in MGS Rising.
From the gameplay we see in this trailer, you can tell that this game was meant to be much slower than Revengeance. Raiden is shown performing a sweeping kick to launch a guard into the air to slice them up in Blade Mode, but even outside of Blade Mode, Raiden cuts through dudes like butter. This was a much more realistic take on Raiden's high-frequency blade, with every attack slicing soldiers to pieces like you'd expect. The basic attack animations that Raiden pulls off look a bit awkward. I can't imagine the combat feeling that intuitive, but it'd be worth playing just to see the carnage unfold on screen. I don't know how challenging a game like this would be if everyone went down so easily. Maybe this was just showing off how it looked cutting dudes to pieces and you'd have to be more strategic in the actual game. We know that stealth was still going to play a big role in this version, so perhaps you'd have to utilize it to take out the stronger enemies that would appear. In interviews, the stealth in the game was described as hunting stealth, meaning you weren't just hiding but pursuing enemies like a predator. We never got to see what this kind of stealth looked like, but it's a cool idea for a character like Raiden. In a body like this, there wouldn't be much reason to hide around in boxes like Solid Snake. The last time this version of the game was shown was at Tokyo Game Show 2010, where we got to see a demonstration of the game's blade mode being used on various objects like bowling pins and watermelons. This will always be a memorable demo to me because you gotta love those dwarf gecko. Well, unbeknownst to the general public, Metal Gear Solid Rising was having an extremely rocky development. Kojima chose not to direct the game himself so he could pursue other projects and decided to let the rest of his team handle the game themselves. Unfortunately, without his guidance, they were pretty lost. While they were able to create the game's mechanics, they weren't able to create an actual game around them. They struggled to create levels that worked with the incredibly ambitious concept of being able to cut anything at will, and they couldn't balance the stealth and action elements of the game properly or tie it all together to create a cohesive story. Because of this, at the end of 2010, Kojima had to step in and find a way to get the game made. Early 2011 is when he turned to Platinum Games, and less than a year later, their version of Rising was being shown at the VGAs.
Pain. This is why I fight. This is my normal. It's my nature. I think it's time for Jack to let her rip.
It was retitled Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, being made with Platinum's engine rather than Fox engine, and set to take place after Metal Gear Solid 4 rather than before it. In this early build, we can see a lot of things that were changed during development. Many of the designs shown here were changed for the final game, such as the look of enemies, Sam, and even the Metal Gear Ray, which looks more like something out of Peace Walker here. Overall, the game is much more colorful in this trailer compared to the final game, which I prefer. Something else present in this early version is the ability to wall run. In the final game, you can hop up walls when you use the ninja run ability, but you can't do anything like this. Raiden will also deflect bullets as long as he's running, but that doesn't seem to be the case in this early build. Raiden can be seen actually getting hit by gunfire without doing a deflecting animation while running. This is just speculation, but perhaps enemy fire was meant to pose a greater threat, forcing you to think creatively with the environment to avoid it. It's possible that they realized that having your health pecked away by bullets would be a bit too annoying, so they decided to just let you negate gunfire by running. I still wish wall running was part of the game though. It would give you a reason to perform aerial attacks more often, and it would really drive home how agile Raiden's meant to be in this body. I mean, he can do it in cutscenes. Platinum Games has to be commended for their hard work finally releasing a game that was in development hell for years in such a short time frame, but I can't help but yearn for the original Rising by Kojima's team. The game wouldn't have come out if Platinum hadn't taken over, but it still sucks that we'll never get to play the original version. Is there no way they could have released it as a Fox Engine tech demo? Maybe even release it as a standalone series of VR missions consisting of isolated environments that didn't have to connect story-wise. Kojima, just let me play it. I want both games to exist because they both appeal to me in different ways. In an ideal world, Platinum would have been given an extra year or two to develop their version of the game. A lot of the elements from the original Rising are in Revengeance, but they feel half-baked and watered down. The game could have used more polish, and I want to see how it would have turned out if they were given more time. Hopefully we see the release of an improved sequel. The scenario writer for the original Rising and Revengeance, Etsu Tamari, has stated that he wants to see the original Rising story used at some point, so it could factor into a sequel. Kojima himself says he's interested in making a sequel based on Grey Fox fighting nanomachine-powered zombies. That just sounds strange, but regardless, it seems like a sequel is very likely, and if one does get made, I'll be very excited to see what Platinum can pull off, especially with the experience they gained from the first game. Thanks for watching everybody. Let me know if there are any other games you want to see me cover on this show in the future.